In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today we're going to take up the topic of communication through persuasion as articulated by Dale Carnegie and Dr. Robert Cialdini. Probably every American has heard of Dale Carnegie, and his biography, Self-Help Messiah, Dale Carnegie and Success in the Modern Work, came out just a few years ago. It, of course, is based on Carnegie's seminal work, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which was first published in 1936. I was surprised to learn that the text for Carnegie's book was largely drawn up as transcripts to lectures Carnegie gave in New York City in the mid-1930s. Carnegie's main thesis was to provide concrete steps on how ordinary people could master the art of persuasion. It has been some time since I've read this book, but I recall that to influence people, one must listen to them. So, be a better listener. Another article I read recently discussed Professor Robert Cialdini, and Cialdini is one of the leading proponents of persuasion science, which draws upon various disciplines, including psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral economics. Dr. Cialdini has been in this field for over 30 years and has been dubbed the godfather of influence based upon his work. One of his insights was that corporations should have a chief persuasion officer because such a person can help bring influence upon others, and it is often the smallest changes that make the biggest differences. In his seminal work, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, Cialdini lays out what he believes to be 6 universal principles of persuasion. And rather than have 3 key takeaways for today's episode, I'm going to take some time to go through each one of these, and each one of these goals or principles, rather, will be a takeaway. Number 1, reciprocity. Cialdini believes that people feel obligated to return favors performed for them. For the compliance practitioner, I think this means listening and using skills to help manage risk, and even in high-risk areas. 2, authority. Cialdini believes that people look for experts to show them the way. The DOJ expects a company's compliance experts to have subject matter expertise on both the FCPA and anti-corruption compliance programs. Obviously, we have the hallmarks of an effective compliance program, but we also have the ECCP. 3, scarcity. Here, Cialdini takes a slightly different tack by noting the less a resource is available, the more people want it. For a CCO, I think this translates to scarcity of your time. A good chunk of your time must be spent at the corporate office, but a larger amount needs to be spent in the field, and I think your employees will respond to that. Liking. This seems self-obvious to me, but the more you're in the field, training employees and meeting with them, the more they will respect you. Number 5, consistency. Here, Cialdini intones that people want to act on concert with their values. I believe most people want to conduct business ethically and in compliance. You, as the compliance professional, really need to provide them that means to do so. And here you can think about incorporating AI tools into your business operations. And number 6, social proof. Cialdini believes that people will look to others as to how to guide their behavior. For the compliance professional, this means I think you need sufficient incentives to get your message of compliance through middle management and down to the troops. If I had to boil this down, I would say listen, and then listen more, and then give people what they want, meeting them where they are. one of the things that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip. Either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced with the assistance of AI.